All right, after 6.5 years of waiting for you guys to be able to properly name people, one more look at the team for the 2015 season. At center, Nick Foles the 7th. Because if I decline a Nick Foles name, again, I look like a salty Patriots fan. Tall enough to ride at power forward. Sal Vulcano at forward as well. Little Richard and need a 5-star are our guards for the year. You got Bo Cruz as our 6th man. You've yeed your last haw. Boom, thunder sticks. Hugh Grant Seamy. Bimbo Coles. NCAA sanctions. Hauling Oates. Your 2015, I believe, UMaine Black Bears. God help us. God help us. 100% job security. I love to see it, despite an overall record now of 77 and 78, with just 2 winning seasons so far. Fuck's sake. We are going to go back to balance just to start the year. See if it works. We'll hope for the best. Now 3-star school pride as well, so that's not that bad. We do have an extra point. Honestly, I mean, the 3-star practice gym just to increase shooting ability. Like, yeah, speed's important, so is general offensive and defensive abilities, but no doubt in my mind, our school band is now 4 stars, as is the student section. That's pretty good. We, of course, renamed Touglame. We can rename the other 2. But who cares? Yeah, honestly, the practice gym, let's get it to 3 stars. Just improve that shooting ability. In general, that is what we need the most. That is what we need the most. And with that, I think we're good. So the preseason top 25, the Ohio State Buckeyes start off at number 1. You got Oklahoma, Duke, Cincy, Syracuse, Indiana, Stanford, Maryland, Texas, and Florida as the top 10. Still got DePaul in the top 25 to start the year. Georgetown Hoyas there one more time. Let's get it moving. We start off our season against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Non-conference play, obviously, for the first few months, and we will see how we do. They are an A- rated team. We're going to get fucking dunked on. And then we play Monmouth. We lose to Monmouth in a blowout. I'm sure we lost to South Carolina as well. Oh, yeah, we're 0-2. Right. Good start, gentlemen. Good start. Terms of recruitment. We are focusing on Bobby Donaldson as a 3-star. No doubt about that. We'll conduct a phone interview with you, Bobby. We'll go with the old head coach visit to talk about location. And we'll phone your high school coach as well. And then at point guard, Grant Edwards. Same thing, a phone interview, a head coach visit. Team prestige won't do much. Let's talk about location. We'll get a few more details on him there too. So again, those are still our top 2 targets right now. We'll sim a week until our next game. Goddamn. And we'll see what we have next in terms of recruiting updates. So we'll take on the Mercer Bears. But before that, Edwards now in the highest category. We're going for him right now. No doubt. Doesn't care about location. We could spend more points, but at this stage, what is the point? I mean, we could keep trying to push to get us to the top of that list if need be. Honestly, yeah. Let's watch the game. Ouch, good to see him. We'll invite him to a game here. Actually, against the Mercer Bears, which should be able to be a win. And then at forward, we still got a little bit of work to do with Donaldson. Doesn't care about the interest or doesn't care about our location. Let's review game film. It's a little bit cheaper. Inviting the game is pretty damn expensive, but we'll try it. We'll get him in when we take on Western Michigan. Alright. And then we head down to Puerto Rico for that tournament. We lose to Mercer. And we're immediately bounced out of that tournament, which is great. Totally forgot to close that previous raffle, too. So let's do that. Alright. And we just keep losing games. 1-5 on the season so far in non-conference play. Unfortunately, Edwards' interest dropped a little bit. Floor general involved in the offense. Honestly, I think we got to send the house on him too. So really quickly, we do need a shooting guard. We got to start targeting one of these dudes. So let's work on the internet research for these guys. And honestly, to be able to send the scholarship, we got to send the well, maybe we don't send the letter of intent. Not intent, but the letter of interest. Try to save some points if we can. Muted, what's going on, buddy? Honestly, same thing for the power forwards. We got to see who the best of the bunch are. You know, I'm doing pretty good. Video game-wise, I wish this team would finally turn the damn corner, but what are you going to do? Dancing end yesterday. We lost in the first round, unsurprisingly. Okay. Let's hope we don't drop any further with Edwards over the next week. We'll risk it a little bit. We got 3 games. We got 3 games coming up. We've been terrible so far this year. And we lost all 3 games. We are absolute trash at 1-8. Alright, Grant Edwards. We have 28 points. Sending the house costs 15 for you. For Donaldson, it would be 30 even if we could do it. Alright, let's officially send the house for Edwards to try and win him over. We have 13 points left. So out of these guards, who are the best of the bunch? 11 points a game for Theo Donaldson. 41.7% from 3 right now. Tyson Hughes, 7 points a game, 20% from 3. We got Patterson, 9 points a game, also looks like a good 3-point shooter. Remus Triplett. And Sean Howe, 10 points a game. I think we are safe to go after Theo Donaldson. He'll be our top target at shooting guard. At power forward, 10 points a game with 3 blocks for Adam Allen. Can anybody top that? Doesn't look like it. Adam Allen will be our top target elsewhere. So that leaves us with 9 points left. So at the end of the season, if anyone wants to leave, I'm boned. We've done pretty much all we can do. For Grant Edwards, we will officially offer him the scholarship and hope for the best. And then honestly, Donaldson, we can pretty much use the last of those points to pitch him again. It's not looking that good. We will honestly pitch him on playing time. Hope for the best. And we'll offer him the scholarship as well. So not overly optimistic about our recruiting stance right now. And game-wise, we have been absolutely abysmal. Losing our big men has really, really hurt this team. To the surprise of hopefully nobody. Fuck yeah! Oh my god. We got Bobby Donaldson out of nowhere. 3-star forward. I really wasn't expecting that, in case you couldn't tell by the reaction. Oh my god. Yes. And we got Grant Edwards. Both 3 stars that were available to us, we got them both. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Now we'll go after Allen and Donaldson and try to kind of seal the deal here with our recruits. We got 3 scholarships left. Let's go ahead and offer Adam Allen the scholarship and Theo Donaldson as well. That was the pick-me-up that we needed, because obviously this season has been abysmal team style. We are going to switch to up-tempo just to see if the boys can kind of figure it out. In terms of player progression, that was the start of the year, so all of this, I believe, is about the same. Maybe. It might actually be a little bit better, but Bo Cruz is that 76 at this stage. Honestly, I think for the moment, School Pride's down to 2 stars again. Fuck. Was 3 stars there for a little bit. Honestly, think in terms of roster management, like we have Cruz and Richard in. At the very least, I think we switch over the veterans once we get to the conference games. Although honestly, Little Richard and Need a 5-star haven't been that bad. They really haven't been. They've actually been our 2 best scorers so far. We don't have a dominant scorer. So it just looks like we can't play defense to save our lives. Let's sim another week. Still non-conference games. I mean, granted, we'd like to do better because it would help us not be a 16th seed if we were to win the conference. And we are 1-9. 1-9 on the season. Donaldson's in, as is Adam Allen. Beautiful. So we technically have 1 scholarship left. I am going to save that for off-season recruiting. But that's beautiful. We got the power forward and the shooting guard that we needed. And then we get the bonus of 2 3-stars, 1 forward and 1 point guard. Beautiful. So at least recruiting-wise, we're not that bad. But boy, this season is just right down the drain. Like this season, unless we pull something off in the tournament, we're boned. But our first conference game of the year is coming up against New Hampshire. So we lose again, 91-55. We lose again. Honestly, our defense has gotten even worse after the switch. Time to switch to the half court. Time to switch to the half court because Jesus Christ. One and 11. Our record is just tanked. We'll give the boys those last 2 games. We play Iowa. We finally win a game. And we lose to Iowa. But we get ready for conference games. 2-12 on the season so far. So with that, still have a 100% success rate because we can't be fired. With that, let's bring in the vets. Little Richard will be our 5th man, or 6th man, excuse me. even though he's the higher rated option. But yeah, at this stage, let's bring in the veterans. At least to lead the way with Cruz and Last Haw, the two seniors. So here we go. These are the games that matter now. The conference games. We take on New Hampshire, Maryland, Hartford, and Binghamton all in the next week. We get crushed by New Hampshire. We do beat Maryland before losing to Hartford. And we beat Binghamton. So 2-2 in the conference so far. Got Maryland again, Hartford again, New Hampshire again over the next week. So we pull off the double over Maryland. And we lose to Hartford twice. We get ready to play New Hampshire again. Again, nothing I have to do recruitment-wise. We played them in Binghamton. We lose both games to New Hampshire. So we're 2-6 in the conference so far. 3-3 actually. I thought we lost an extra game that we actually didn't lose because we pulled off the double against Binghamton. All right, Albany, Boston U, Stony Brook. Over the next week, we lose to Albany by 3 points. This isn't pretty. This is not pretty. We beat the BU Terriers. We beat Stony Brook. Right now, we're not totally boned in terms of the conference standings. 54% win percentage, New Hampshire. Got the Wildcats at 8-1. So, I mean, right now, we're at least not one of the bottom seeds, but it's still not great. We play the Terriers and Stony Brook again. We lose to Boston University. We lose to Stony Brook. This has been an absolutely atrocious season. Easily our worst. Still in the middle of the pack there in terms of the conference standings. No shot at a top seed. So yes, we've won a little bit more, but I don't really know if it's been worth having our top-rated dudes, you know. But we'll stick with it. We'll stick with it. Albany, and then our 2 games against Vermont to round out the regular season, and then we got to hope for a miracle in the conference championship again. Oh, but it's a pretty solid game. I mean, starting off with a team that's terrible might not be the most fun at times, but it is pretty fun. So we do beat Albany. We got 2 games against Vermont to round this out. We lose the first one at home. And we lose the road game as well. And recruiting-wise, we got 1 scholarship left, and we'll save it. Horrible season. Can be salvaged in the conference tournament, but yeah, this was brutal. We dropped off harder than expected despite losing our best players, you know? It was a really hard drop-off. So, at the end of the season, the top 25, Maryland Terps, #1 in the nation. You have Florida, Cincy, Ohio State, Stanford, Tennessee, Oklahoma State, UConn, Georgia Tech, and Georgetown. You also have Seton Hall, currently 12th. Interesting. You got Mizzou up there, Arkansas, Michigan, Old Dominion. Clemson round out the top 25. In terms of our player stats on the year. I mean, the freshman center, Nick Foles, the 7th. 12 points. Cruz, obviously the guards were a little bit messed up because they swapped out who the starters were. But our forward in Sal Vacano just under 8 points a game. Like, it's brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal. Hall & Oates apparently got to play some games too, so I do wonder if we have an injury. Surprise, surprise, we don't have anybody up there for player of the season. Imagine that. Somebody can be a 94 overall. Maybe someday. This feels like a goddamn draft of glory at this point. All right. Well, we got Albany in the conference tournament. We are the 5 seed. New Hampshire did take the #1 spot. So we again get to play our favorite boys from Albany. Honestly, let's just go balanced. Let's see what happens here. We have a wonderful history of losing in the first round of this tournament. Except for 1 year, where we won the damn thing. Here we go. On the road, no less. Holy hell, what a start. Don't you blow this. Don't you blow this. That was way too good of a start to let it slip. Ended up much closer than it should have been. But we do beat Albany 84-75. They really battled back in that second half. But we made it work. We made it work. And New Hampshire, the #1 seed, do in fact move on. Yeah, look at that. 52-35 in the first, and they outscored us 40-32. Not amazing. 25 points for Bo Cruz, leading the way. So with that, Boston, wow, BU lost to Stony Brook. So it's Vermont and Stony Brook. We play New Hampshire. Another showdown with the Wildcats. Can we get it done to move to the conference final? On the road in Durham. Again, I don't think we can jump in without the game crashing. Unless it wants to magically work again. Holy shit, this game is close. And New Hampshire runs away with it at the end. Wildcats win it by 10, and our season's over. Fuck's sake. It'll be Vermont and New Hampshire. Winner gets that automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. It really is a draft of glory at this point.
In a few moments,
we'll skip the selection show again, and we'll just follow along with the tournament as we do. I like the selection show when there are stakes. It's a great feature, but for us, it's like, well, if we're not in it, then where's the drama? So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We have had numerous schools win. No team has really stepped up as a dynasty, which has been pretty nice, honestly. So let's see. In the West region, Texas falls again, this time to Murray State, and it wasn't even close. So that's the first big upset in the West region. Murray State over Texas. Fucking hell. In the Midwest, we have no upsets in round 1 in terms of the seeding. No upsets at all in the Midwest. In the East region, Wyoming knock off Old Dominion. Good win there for Wyoming when they're more successful at basketball than I am. That makes me a sad panda. Illinois also knock out Iowa State by 2 points. So Illinois and Wyoming are through. And then in the South, Davidson again. DVDs knock out Western Kentucky. Fucking Davidson, man, every time. You also have Vanderbilt over Duke. Blue Devils get absolutely thrashed. And those are your upsets in the first round. Round 2, start off in the West, where we get one upset, in terms of seeding at least. It's Notre Dame over Oklahoma State. The only lower seed to advance in the West. In the Midwest, not a single upset in terms of seeding. All 4 of the higher seeds move on. In the East, Arizona knocks off Cincinnati. Finally living up to their potential a little bit. They've had a good team for the past couple seasons. Arizona knock off Cincinnati, and Clemson knock out Georgetown. So a couple of upsets there in the East. The highest seed left is the 2 seed. After that, it's the 5 seed. And in the South, Davidson's out. There were no upsets, potentially. We got 1 game to sim. No upsets there in the South. So we get to the Sweet 16. We start off in the West, where the number 1 seed moves on over Arkansas. It is Maryland, the Terps, knocking down the Razorbacks. And Georgia Tech eliminate Notre Dame. In the Midwest, Florida over Mizzou, and Alabama over UConn. So a battle of 1 and 2 there. In the East, Clemson knock out Tennessee. So Clemson take out Tennessee. Arizona and California. It's Arizona going to the Elite 8 as they knock out Cal. In the South, number 1 Stanford out to the Indiana Hoosiers. And OSU move on. That's Ohio State over Seton Hall. So who will make it to the Final 4? In the West, Maryland and Georgia Tech, I believe it was. Maryland, the number 1 seed, off to the Final 4. Battle of 1 and 2, Florida and Bama. Florida going to be moving on. Gators in the Final 4. Arizona to the Final 4, knocking out Clemson. Arizona in the Final 4, and Ohio State knock out Indiana. Your Final 4, Maryland and Ohio State, Florida and Arizona. 2 number 1 seeds, a 2 and an 8. Maryland knock out Ohio State, Florida and Arizona. Florida wins it. So Arizona fall in the Final 4. National title, Maryland and Florida. Let's see who wins it. And it will be the Terps. Maryland gets it done. They win the national title in 2015 over the Florida Gators. I think that's another first-time winner in this franchise or this dynasty that we've seen. Florida falling to the Maryland Terps. Brings us to another offseason. Let's see how this goes. We start off with verbal agreements, as we'll be bringing in Bobby Donaldson, Grant Edwards, Adam Allen, and Theo Donaldson. Bobby Donaldson, 34th ranked forward. That's a pretty good pickup for us. And again, we still have 1 more scholarship. Players leaving. I forgot that could happen. The Atlantic 10 have invited us to replace St. Louis. Do we do it? We can switch conferences. Interesting. Do we join the Atlantic 10? Everyone's saying yes so far in chat. We'd suck, but it would help recruiting. Atlantic 10 too good? That is the tough choice. Who else was in the Atlantic 10 at this point? It would help with recruiting. but we will probably get our asses kicked. Who was in the Atlantic 10? Dayton, Xavier. Oof. That's a tough one. That's a tough one then. Let's just say 2010 Atlantic 10 basketball. Let's see. So in the Atlantic 10, Temple, Xavier, Richmond, Rhode Island, Charlotte, Dayton, St. Bonaventure, George Washington, UMass. Well, geographically it makes sense. We'd be in a conference with UMass and Rhode Island. It is true that we're getting our asses kicked anyway. You know, we've only won the, what is it, the America East once? What do you guys think? Like, that's a huge, huge decision to make. But if it is a more prestigious conference, it would help with the recruiting. But you could argue we're kind of picking up that momentum anyway. Here's the thing. The Atlantic 10 probably helps with recruiting, but it's going to be that much more difficult to get into the tournament, isn't it? Whereas if we stay where we are, we're still getting 3-star recruits. We might not be that far off from getting 4 stars sometime soon. Like, we're consistently seeing 3-star recruits more often. So we might still be able to build up through the current conference that we're in. A10 gets more automatic bids to the strength of opponents. Fair enough then. What do you guys think? Do we even need to... We'll run a poll. We'll run a poll. I will let you guys decide here on the fly. It's totally up to you. Will we switch to the A10? Yes or no? And just to really piss people off when they watch this on YouTube, we're going to cliffhanger the sons of